right now, we've got three men who have scored a combined 23 goals in a single World Cup. It is just an unprecedented, totally historic scoring explosion.
Yeah, it really is.
And yet the winner of the Golden Boot, the award that is literally designed to crown the ultimate goal scorer, it might actually be decided by who is better at passing the ball.
It sounds totally counterintuitive when you put it that way, but it perfectly captures the reality of modern football, right?
Right.
We're watching a tournament where the sheer volume of goals has just, well, it's completely broken the traditional metrics we use to measure dominance.
Welcome to today's deep dive. If you're joining us, you are our favorite kind of listener. You are the learner.
Exactly, the best kind.
You've got a busy life. You don't have time to read 50 different sports pages or scrub through hours of post-match press conferences, but you want to be perfectly caught up on the biggest conversations without feeling overwhelmed by just a tsunami of data.
And man, today the conversation is massive.
It really is. So it is Thursday, July 16th, 2026. We are heading right into the final weekend of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And while the actual team trophies, like the World Cup itself, are obviously the ultimate prize, there is this legendary individual battle that has just completely hijacked the narrative this week.
Oh, for good reason, too. The team dynamics are fascinating, sure, but the individual storylines we're seeing right now, that is something sports historians will be dissecting for decades.
Totally.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to take this giant stack of sources. We've got match reports, we've got historical FIFA rulebooks, and raw player data from the tournament, and just unpack the most thrilling Golden Boot race in World Cup history.
Dude, we're going to cover a lot of ground today.
Yeah, we're looking at the top 5 contenders, the incredibly intricate tiebreaker rules, and why a match that usually feels like a glorified exhibition is suddenly like the most important fixture of the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this, and let's start right at the summit.
The
We are looking at a historic deadlock between two giants of the sport. Lionel Messi of Argentina and Kylian Mbappé of France are tied at the top of the leaderboard with 8 goals apiece. 8.
It's an insane number.
Just to give you, the listener, some context on how absurd that number is, Kylian Mbappé won the Golden Boot in 2022 with 8 goals total. Harry Kane won it in 2018 with 6 goals. And we currently have 3 players in this tournament who have hit 7 or more.
Right, and the historical context is crucial here, because according to our sources, this is literally the first time in World Cup history that such a high-scoring cluster has happened at the top of the leaderboard.
Oh, and along the way, Messi just casually became the all-time men's World Cup goal scorer, as you dare.
Just a casual side quest for him, yeah.
But, why is this happening now? Is it just a coincidence that these specific players are peaking at the exact same moment? Or is there, like, a structural reason we are seeing so many goals?
Oh, it is deeply structural. You really have to look at how the expanded format of the 2026 World Cup, moving to 48 teams, has interacted with this specific generation of hyper-elite forwards.
Because there are just more teams in the mix now.
Exactly. By expanding the field, FIFA brought in teams from lower qualification tiers. So in the group stages, you had these absolute powerhouse nations going up against defensive lines that simply did not have the pedigree to stop them.
Wow, right.
It basically created a unique environment for elite forwards to stat pad early in the tournament.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
The floor of the tournament dropped, so the ceiling for the goal scorers went way up. But that brings us to the most fascinating problem. The unstoppable scoring has led to a complete logjam at the top.
Yeah, a massive headache for the organizers.
Right. I was looking at the FIFA rulebook in our sources, and I was shocked to see they don't do joint winners anymore. Like back in 1994, Hristo Stoichkov and Oleg Salenko just shared the award. Why on earth did FIFA decide passing should break a goal-scoring tie?
Well, it really comes down to commercialization and, the modernization of data. Modern FIFA demands a single champion for marketing purposes. You can't really put 2 players on the promotional poster as the singular best.
I guess not, yeah.
So to break a tie on goals, the first official FIFA tiebreaker is the number of assists. If they're still tied on assists, the second tiebreaker goes to the fewest minutes played. The logic being that, the player who scored the same amount in less time was more efficient.
Okay, so let's look at the current numbers. Messi has 8 goals. Mbappé has 8 goals. But Messi currently holds the edge in the tiebreaker because he has 4 assists, whereas Mbappé has 3.
Correct.
And Messi just picked up 2 of those assists in Argentina's 2-1 semifinal win over England, setting up Enzo Fernandez and Lautaro Martinez. But, I have to push back on this rule, though.
Go for it.
Is it actually fair that an award explicitly named and designed for the top goal scorer can be decided by passing? Doesn't an assist tiebreaker inherently punish a pure lone striker who plays on a weaker attacking team compared to someone who is surrounded by elite finishers who can actually convert their passes?
See, that is the exact debate raging in the global soccer community right now.
I'm not the only one then.
Definitely not. FIFA's underlying logic here is that they want to reward the most complete offensive contributor. The Golden Boot isn't just about being a penalty box poacher anymore. It's about overall attacking value.
Right. But still,
I mean, a goal is obviously the primary metric, but if two players are absolutely equal in their goal-scoring lethality, FIFA believes the player who also creates goals for their teammates has had a more dominant tournament.
but if I'm a pure number 9,
Right.
a classic striker, my job is to put the ball in the net. It is the single hardest thing to do in the sport. If I do that 8 times and you do that 8 times, we are equal goal scorers. Bringing assists into it just feels like you're changing the job description right at the finish line.
I completely understand that perspective, and it is a totally valid critique. The rule undoubtedly favors a modern, hybrid, forward-like, a playmaker finisher like Messi over a traditional target man.
Exactly.
But we have to recognize that the sport itself has evolved. The traditional number 9 who only waits in the box, that's becoming increasingly rare at the elite level. Managers demand forwards who press, drop deep, link play,
Yeah, the game is just different now.
Right. So FIFA's rule is simply reflecting the reality of how modern attacking football is actually played.
I hear that,
Hmm.
but I still think it dilutes the purity of the award. And I mean, if we're debating the value of a pure number 9 versus a modern hybrid, we have to
Right.
talk about the ultimate pure number 9 who forced this exact scenario.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we cannot talk about Messi and Mbappé without talking about the player who engineered this frantic pace.
Mm-hmm.
The third man in this historic trio, the frozen giant, Erling Haaland.
The man who built the pressure cooker.
Exactly. Haaland is currently sitting in third place, permanently frozen at 7 goals and 0 assists. His tournament is over. Norway was knocked out by England in the quarterfinals.
Such a tough exit for them.
But, man, before we get to the tactical pressure he applied, I have to mention an incredibly quirky detail from the reports. After Norway was eliminated, Haaland flew back to Oslo, and he stepped off the plane carrying a highly unusual souvenir from his time in North America.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
A taxidermied raccoon.
Yeah, I saw that circulating in the press. Just a fascinatingly unique way to commemorate a World Cup run, I guess.
Whatever helps you process a quarterfinal heartbreak, right? But back to the pitch. Haaland is stuck at 7 goals, and his run to get there was just devastating.
Devastating is the exact right word. I mean, he scored a massive brace against Brazil in the round of 16. Our sources note that he had scored in 14 consecutive competitive games for Norway leading up to his exit. He was an absolute machine. But what is truly important here is the tactical and psychological effect Haaland had on the rest of the tournament.
How so? Because usually we think of these teams kind of operating in their own bubbles, don't we?
Normally, yes. But think of Haaland as, like, the pace car in a high-speed race. Typically, if a powerhouse nation like France or Argentina secures progression to the knockout rounds early, their manager will rest the star players in the third group stage match.
Right, to keep them fresh.
Exactly. And they sit them on the bench to prevent injury and manage fatigue. But because Haaland was scoring so relentlessly, racking up numbers that hadn't been seen in years, the tactical rotation strategy just went completely out the window.
Oh, wow. So because Haaland was running up the score, Messi and Mbappé couldn't afford a single day off.
Precisely. They couldn't be rested. They had to play a full 90 minutes in games they otherwise might have sat out just to keep up with this Norwegian phenomenon. Haaland literally forced the greatest players in the world to exert maximum effort for the entire month.
It's exactly like a marathon runner who sets a blistering world record pace for the first 20 miles. They are just flying, forcing everyone behind them to abandon their race plan.
That's a great way to look at it.
But
right?
then, tragically, they twist an ankle and have to drop out. The trailing runners, who are pacing themselves against him, now have to sprint the rest of the way just to catch the ghost of the time he set.
Yep.
Haaland set the bar, and now he just has to sit on his couch in Oslo, presumably hanging out with his raccoon, and watch.
And because Haaland is sitting in Oslo, the threshold for winning is effectively frozen for the chasers. We know Messi and Mbappé have surpassed him, But we also have to look at the players trailing just behind them who still have games to play.
Right, there's still football left.
Exactly. Mbappé knows the exact number he needs to hit, which suddenly turns Saturday's usually meaningless exhibition game into a high-stakes shootout.
The ultimate consolation prize, the third-place playoff. It's happening this Saturday, July 18th in Miami. It features France versus England. Now, generally speaking, this is a game nobody really wants to play, right?
Nobody.
France was just shut out 2-0 by a spectacular Spanish defense in the semifinals. England suffered that heartbreaking 2-1 loss to Argentina. You've got two devastated, physically exhausted squads. But suddenly, because of this golden boot race, everything changes.
Yes. For you to understand the stakes here, you have to look at how FIFA categorizes this match. The rules explicitly state that the third-place playoff counts towards all official World Cup statistics.
Including the golden boot.
Including the golden boot. This has been a regular feature since 1934 with the exception of 1950. So everything that happens on Saturday in Miami goes directly into the historical record books.
And look at who is lacing up for this game. You have Mbappé sitting at 8 goals and 3 assists. You have England's Harry Kane with 6 goals and 1 assist. You have Jude Bellingham with 6 goals and 1 assist. And lurking just behind them, France's Ousmane Dembélé with 5 goals and 2 assists.
It's a packed field.
Why are we expecting a shootout here, though?
Well, if you look at the historical data of third-place matches, they are almost universally open, high-scoring affairs. The crushing psychological pressure of winning the World Cup is gone. Managers often rotate their squads, playing backup goalkeepers or giving minutes to younger defenders who haven't seen the pitch yet.
So structure just falls apart.
Pretty much. The tactical rigidity completely melts away. Midfields are bypassed, and teams play with significantly less defensive fear.
So Mbappé basically has exactly 90 minutes against a potentially demoralized, heavily rotated English defense to score a goal or even just get an assist to leapfrog Messi.
That's the scenario.
And Kane and Bellingham, they need a miraculous performance, like a hat trick, just to tie the leaders. But in a loose, open game against backup defenders, a hat trick isn't entirely impossible, is it?
It is highly improbable for Kane or Bellingham, but as you said, not impossible. But for Mbappé, the objective is incredibly clear. He needs 1 goal to take the outright lead with 9.
Right.
Or he needs 1 assist to tie Messi on the first tiebreaker. If he gets that assist, they both have 8 goals and 4 assists, and it would move to the second tiebreaker, which is fewest minutes played.
Which is just wild math to be doing on the fly during a broadcast. But I really want you, the listener, to think about this dynamic. Let's say Mbappé does it. Let's say he scores 2 goals against a backup English squad in a game that has absolutely no bearing on the championship.
Okay.
Does that cheapen the golden boot? Will fans view his victory with an asterisk if he steals the award from Messi, who has to face a much tougher, locked-in Spanish defense in the actual final the very next day?
That is the eternal, purist versus contextualist debate regarding the third-place playoff. The purists will argue that navigating a grueling 7-game tournament requires immense physical and mental endurance, regardless of the opponent in the final match.
Right.
A goal is a goal. The official record book will not carry an asterisk.
But come on, scoring against a backup right back in an exhibition is just not the same as scoring against the best center backs in the world when the trophy is on the line.
In the court of public opinion, you are absolutely right. There will be fans, particularly in Argentina, but globally as well, who will argue that context matters. They will argue that the golden boot should reflect performance under ultimate pressure, not just raw accumulation.
Yeah.
But the beauty of the sport is that the rules don't care about our feelings on the matter. The numbers are absolute.
All goals count the same on paper, even if they don't weigh the same in our memories, which means the narrative climaxes on Sunday. Because the asynchronous nature of this schedule gives one man a massive tactical advantage.
A huge one.
After Mbappé, Kane, and Bellingham lay down their final numbers on Saturday in Miami, the target is basically set in stone. Because Messi holds the ultimate trump card in this entire race. He plays last.
He plays last, and that dictates everything about how he approaches the final.
Before we look at Sunday's math and how Messi will navigate this, a quick reminder that we want to hear from you. While you are prepping your snacks for the weekend, visit vailychat.web.app to share who you think will ultimately take the crown.
We love seeing your predictions.
You really do.
And just as a quick reminder, we're looking purely at the raw sporting permutations here. Absolutely no discussion of betting lines or odds on this show, just the beautiful game. So, Sunday, July 19th, the World Cup final in New York and New Jersey. Argentina versus Spain.
What a matchup.
Spain's defense is elite. They just kept a clean sheet against a very dangerous French team. Oh, and Spain also has Mikel Oyarzabal sitting there with 5 goals and 1 assist, so they have their own offensive firepower to worry about. It is going to be a highly tactical, tightly contested match. But for the individual race, the advantage of playing second just cannot be overstated. By the time Messi steps onto the pitch on Sunday, the mathematical permutations will be completely resolved.
Right, there's no mystery left.
Exactly. He will not be guessing. He will know the exact metric he needs to hit.
Okay, let's break down these scenarios based on what Mbappé does on Saturday.
Yeah.
Let's say Mbappé scores once against England. He goes to 9 goals and 3 assists.
In that scenario, Messi knows he needs exactly 1 goal to tie. If Messi scores that goal against Spain, he goes to 9 goals as well. Because Messi already has 4 assists to Mbappe's 3, Messi would win the Golden Boot on the tiebreaker.
Wow, okay. What if Mbappé doesn't score a goal on Saturday, but he gets 2 assists?
Then Mbappé remains at 8 goals, but he moves to 5 assists. He suddenly takes the lead on the tiebreaker. In that scenario, Messi steps onto the pitch on Sunday, knowing he needs either 1 goal to move to 9 goals and win outright, or he needs 2 assists of his own to move to 6 assists and win the tiebreaker.
So what does this all mean? It means Sunday isn't just a team final for the World Cup trophy. It is a direct, multi-day, asynchronous chess match between the 2 greatest players of their respective generations. Mbappé makes his move on Saturday. Messi gets to analyze it, process the math, and respond on Sunday.
Exactly. And this brings us back to our earlier debate about the modern forward, because this specific scenario highlights how Messi's evolution into a playmaker gives him a unique safety net that pure strikers simply do not have.
How does that actually play out against a defense like Spain's, though?
Well, think about it tactically. Messi has 4 assists in this tournament. At 39 years old, he is pulling the strings in the midfield just as often as he is attacking the penalty box.
Right.
If he finds himself heavily marked by a suffocating Spanish defense, and they will absolutely have a plan for him, he doesn't have to force a low-percentage shot just to chase a goal.
No.
He can drop back, play as a traditional number 10, draw the Spanish press toward him, and slide a pass through to Julian Alvarez or Lautaro Martinez. Depending on what Mbappé does on Saturday, Messi can literally win the top goal scorer award by passing the ball.
It's brilliant, but as I said earlier, it's totally maddening if you're a traditionalist.
Yeah.
It completely rewires how we watch a forward play in a final. And we can't forget, if the permutations stretch all the way down to a Spanish winger like Oyarzabal needing a hat trick in the final to enter the chat, it just shows the absurd depth of attacking talent in this tournament.
The depth is incredible, but the focus will undeniably be on Messi. He is playing in what is widely expected to be his final World Cup match. He is already the all-time leading men's scorer.
Yeah.
To cap off his international career by calculating exactly what he needs to beat his former Paris Saint-Germain teammate Mbappé while simultaneously trying to navigate a Spanish fortress. I mean, it is a scriptwriter's dream.
It really is. You have the young king in Mbappé trying to secure his 2nd straight Golden Boot on Saturday against a wounded English team. You have the legend in Messi playing on Sunday, knowing the exact mathematical equation required to cement his legacy. And you have Haaland, the force of nature who made them both sprint to the point of exhaustion, watching from the cold of Norway.
It raises a final, broader, philosophical question for us to consider and for you to mull over this weekend. We've spent this entire deep dive discussing tiebreakers, assists, minutes played.
Yeah.
We are in an era of expanded 48-team tournaments. We are seeing group stages with wider disparities in team quality, leading to hyper-prolific super scores, racking up numbers we haven't seen in decades.
It feels like the old systems of measurement are just breaking under the weight of modern talent.
Exactly. Given that the tiebreakers are becoming the actual deciding factor for this prestigious award, will FIFA eventually need to evolve the Golden Boot into a Most Bowl Contributions award?
That's a huge question.
Is pure goal scoring no longer enough to measure a forward's dominance in the modern game? If we are deciding the best goal scorer by how well they pass, perhaps the award itself needs to reflect the reality of modern attacking football.
Oh, that is a spicy thought to take into the weekend. Are we witnessing the death of the Pure Poachers Award? That is definitely something for you to deeply mull over while you're watching the matches on Saturday and Sunday.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us and letting us take this deep dive into the 2026 World Cup sources with you. We've gone from the historic deadlock to the frozen giant with a raccoon, to the intricate math of a multi-day photo finish.
It's been a fascinating landscape to explore. Enjoy the matches and pay close attention to that midfield passing.
When you watch the players cross that final line on Sunday, remember, in today's game, you don't just need to be fast. You need to make sure your shoelaces are tied perfectly for the magnifying glass. We'll see you next time.